Welcome to the Workamper Show, brought to you by Workamper.com. This podcast helps you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. Each one of our episodes will introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to work camping opportunities all around the U.S. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Today, we'll be speaking with the owner of a West Virginia family campground which avoided Hurricane Helene and is now seeking a manager and 6 to 8 other work campers next year. Today's episode is brought to you by Workamper News. Since 1987, they've been helping businesses of all types find and recruit work campers. Work campers serve in a variety of positions around the country to help further the mission of great businesses. When you become an employer member of Workamper.com, you'll have access to resources and support to help you develop and implement your work camper recruiting strategy. In today's market, it is more challenging than ever to keep a flow of applicants coming in. Workamper News recommends advertising your current and future work camper job openings frequently throughout the year, as well as scheduling some time to regularly search the work camper resume database, because new work campers are joining daily. Work campers like to plan many months ahead, so now is the time to take action to begin developing your work camper team. Learn more and download a quick start guide for employers at www.workamper.com/employer. Kevin St. Laurent is the owner of Tiny Mobile Living. It's a company that started buying up RV parks and campgrounds during the pandemic. As the former director of a church camp, Kevin said the businesses are ideally suited to his personality. One of his properties is Greenbrier River Campground, which is located near Lewisburg, West Virginia. The community hosts the West Virginia State Fair, so there is a lot of activity in the area every summer. It's an area as rich in history as it is in scenic beauty. The campground is seeking hosts and people able to perform maintenance duties for the 42-site RV park located on 7 acres along the Greenbrier River. The campground also rents canoes, kayaks, and inner tubes for people to use on lazy river excursions. Work campers are needed from October 1st to October 31st. The manager position would be year-round, but the job can be performed remotely during winter months because it is focused primarily on handling reservations during the off-season. To tell us more about this unique management opportunity, as well as the traditional work camping positions, please welcome Kevin St. Laurent with Greenbrier River Campground to the show. Thanks for joining me today, Kevin. I appreciate the time. Tell us a little bit about Tiny Mobile Living and how it got started.
Tiny Mobile Living, that's a family business. It's my sister and my wife, and we got started during the pandemic, believe it or not.
Okay. And you do own a bunch of RV parks, is that right?
Yeah, we've been purchasing RV parks during the pandemic, and we've been acquiring at one per year so far, and things have been going really well, and we love the business. And I think it's fair to say, as an ex-camp director at a church camp myself, when I was younger, the RV park business just suits my personality, and everything about it is the same as running a summer camp.
That's neat. I understand that you have a brand new park, or one that is in its first season.
That's true. In January of this year, we purchased a brand new park, and it's called Greenbrier River Campground, and that is in West Virginia. And it's right near Lewisburg. If anyone knows that the West Virginia State Fair is held in Lewisburg, West Virginia, which is actually near White Sulphur Springs, which is the famous Greenbrier Hotel that was used during World War II. They had the bunkers for security, and famous world leaders had met there. The Republican Party does meetings, conferences there. It's a really famous hotel that's been in operation, I think maybe over 100 years. Don't hold me to the detail of the Greenbrier Hotel, but it's a phenomenal location up in the mountains there. And oddly enough, you could ride the Amtrak train from Grand Central New York City, and you would be deposited in Alderson, which is 5 miles downriver from Greenbrier River Campground. And I thought that was kind of a fun fact about the old train systems that's still functioning in the U.S.
That's one thing that the work campers who come to work for you can do, is they can hop a train and in 5 hours be in New York City.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you just jump on the train, go to New York City for 11 hours, grab a sandwich, grab a pizza, grab a slice, right, and bring yourself right back to the campground and still make your shift.
How many work campers are you looking to hire next year?
Our entire team is going to be, we have a manager, and then we like to have usually between 6 and 8 work campers in addition to the manager.
Okay, so one of the work campers will be a manager?
That's correct.
Okay, good. What kind of jobs will the work campers be doing?
It's the traditional, we have host positions, running the office, doing turnovers, because this campground has a combination of RV sites, tent sites, and cabins. The standard park model cabins, they're gorgeous because they're right on the river. They have the view, the outdoor barbecues. A lot of family groups like to rent them. So we have our own laundry on site. And so we handle all the turnovers internally. And so that's the host position. And then we have the maintenance position. We have our septic system. We have our well. We're a fairly independent campground as far as our infrastructure goes. And so we handle just about everything in-house as much as we can with the crews that we hire.
How many RV parks or how many RV sites do you have?
That's always a challenge. I've learned this in the RV park world. That seems like every RV park you go to, there's always one more RV site somewhere hidden next to something that has hookups. We look at this as 42 units.
Okay.
And the units are a combination of RV sites, tent sites, and cabins.
All right. Very good. So it's a relatively small campground.
Exactly. We're a small family business and it's not a big operation. We're on 7 acres. We're right along the Greenbrier River. And on the other side of the river is the train tracks, and the coal trains go by daily. And you start to learn the sounds of them, because you'll stop, you'll hear the train, you'll go, oh, that one's empty. And then 2 hours later, you realize, wait, that's a full coal train, because it has a different squeak in the wheels when it's full of coal or if it's empty.
Is the river large enough to accommodate barges?
No, it's not that kind of river. And that's actually what makes the river so much fun, is you don't have commercial traffic, but you do have lots of kayaking and canoeing and inner tubing. And that's the fun summer camp aspect of this park, is that we offer canoe and river trips, the rafting trips going down. You can float down the river.
The work campers be leading those trips, or is this just something that people rent the equipment and do it on their own?
It's primarily you rent the equipment and you go on your own. What we do is we prepare you. We set you up with your vest. We set you up with your paddle. We set you up with your inner tube. We even have additional floating tubes specifically designed for coolers so that you can bring your refreshments on the river with you. We load you up in the van. We trailer you up to the drop-off sites. And then some of them, when we go upriver, you actually will get out right at our campground, which is super fun. Or if you're feeling it and the river's flowing fast enough, you can continue down to Alderson and get out down there, and we'll come pick you up.
Okay.
But they're all primarily self-guided.
I was looking on a map as to where the campground is located, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, really. It's rather isolated from the big cities.
It is. It really is. In fact, if you want to, we don't recommend flying with an airplane, because DC Dulles International is probably one of the most convenient airports, and that's a 4.5-hour trip apart.
Okay.
We're definitely in the mountains. It's gorgeous up there.
Are these seasonal opportunities or year-round?
Our work campers, for the host and maintenance position, those are going to be seasonal. And our season typically runs from April 1st to October 31st or November 1st, however you want to see it. It's a 7th-month season. And then what happens is our manager, we currently don't have a manager, and we're looking for someone who is looking for a long-term position because we love the continuity. I think a snowbird would be an amazing opportunity. Someone who wants to be in Florida during the winter months, but wants to get out of that summer heat and work for 7 months and enjoy themselves. But there's also the remote possibility over the winter months where the manager can still be doing the phone system and reservations, and not a lot of work in the winter, but just keeping and planning the next season.
So the manager would be full-time, but can be working from Florida, managing the reservations and things like that. Wow, that is a unique work camping position.
We think it's actually ideal because we know so many of the RVers are snowbirds. They love to go south and come back. Someone who has experience in campground management and leading a team, and ideally even loves the river with the floating of the tubes and the kayaking. They would just, it could just be an ideal position for someone who wants that flexibility.
And how many hours a week are you expecting from the work campers?
That really depends on the river flow. And this is the part of the
Really?
campground that I love. I know it sounds funny, but when the river is running, more people show up and more people rent tubes and we get busier and we need more of the staff.
Okay.
We start with the typical FHU exchange. And then for any extra hours work, we pay $15 an hour on top of that.
Okay. So how many hours a week are they having to work to get?
Sorry. I thought I answered that. Yeah. So that's what I meant, is that it is flexible, but you're looking at 12 to 15 hours a week minimum
To pay for
so
the
a couple
site?
days a week.
Okay.
We consider all of these part-time positions. No one's working full-time. And because it's only 42 units. So it is a smaller campground.
Okay.
We actually like that energy with the smaller feel. It's easier to provide better, more thorough customer service when you're not overloaded with lots of demands.
So after putting in the 15 hours to cover the full hookup site, then the hours are paid.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. And you said you're looking for about 5 work campers next year.
That's about right. Yeah. It could be 5 to 8. Again, we have flexibility.
Would you consider solos?
Absolutely. We love solos. We love solos. We love couples, and we love animals. If you've got dogs, I always say, if you don't have a dog and you live in an RV, wait, what's going on? I'm probably a little suspect.
That's right. What about families? Would you consider families to come in and do?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
We're family oriented. If you got a family, come aboard. If you've got dogs, come aboard. If you're solo, come aboard.
Oh, fun. Yeah. Could the teenagers get jobs at the campground too, if the family shows up?
We don't actually hire teenagers.
Okay.
We do need everyone to be an adult, a working adult.
Fair enough. What traits or qualifications are you looking for in the work campers?
We're looking for people who are independently minded, that they don't need constant supervision. We're looking for people who are people who will take initiative. If you see something, do something within the parameters of what their job responsibilities are. It's not sit around and wait for someone to tell you what to do. It's, hey, you're driving the cart around, you're observing things going on. So take action, because we want to create a safe environment for everyone.
You're driving around the cart that a garbage can has fallen over. You just don't leave it there. You stop and you put everything back in order.
Exactly. Yeah. I've watched a past work camper drive by a spigot spewing full force, and they just drove right past it. I thought, you know what? I know it's not technically in your job description, but could you just stop and turn that water off? Because that's wasting a lot of water unnecessarily. So yeah, take initiative. Think of the bigger picture.
Do work campers need any special training, or are you looking for specific skills that would help you out?
We love anyone with past experience, especially the maintenance, if they have electrical, plumbing experience, but it's not absolutely necessary. A couple of things we do is that because of the river trips, we have everyone get qualified for your standard first aid classes, which is just an online course. And it's not mandatory, but we find it really important that our staff have that capability should there be an emergency. Plus our maintenance staff, including our manager, we actually put them through a water treatment course. It's just a 1-day course. It's paid. And that's through the state of West Virginia. And then you become a certified water operator. And that's because we have a well.
Okay.
And we do daily testing, and you have to understand the chlorine we put in there, how to test your chlorine levels. We do our monthly E. coli test to make sure the water is safe to drink for all the people at the park. And then just basics, our safety procedures for what to do in the event that you have a contamination.
Sounds like an interesting certification to have for any job that they want if they're working for a similar remote campground.
Exactly. And if you are a work camper there and you get that certification, it's great for your resume later to say, oh yeah, I've been a certified water operator. And so then it's easy to do in the next state.
Are you always recruiting, or is there a specific time of year that you generally do that?
Primarily, as I'm sure other RV park owners know, pretty much everyone's always recruiting year round, but primarily we're trying to recruit before the season starts. So here I am, and we're looking for a manager, and we're looking for crews who are excited about coming to West Virginia April 1st, or actually, usually we like to get our staff there a week before we open so we can do training and get them settled before the guests start arriving.
What's involved in the hiring and interviewing process?
It's pretty straightforward. We just start with email contact back and forth, making sure everyone has the basic qualifications. We definitely like to see photos of your rig, yourselves, your families, everything on the email, your vehicles, and then we like to see a resume. What's your work experience? We don't need official resumes. We don't have to have, but we do like to see clear communication. And then we set up an interview, and we'd love to do video interviews, but that's not mandatory. Sometimes I've interviewed some people in remote locations and we just had to do it over the phone. We even welcome people to come visit the park beforehand. I think that's always ideal in any of the hiring process, if you can come and see the park before you work in the park. That's not always possible, and that's okay. And then we take it from there.
How long does it take for you to make a decision?
Try to work with other people's schedules, but I would say within a week, assuming that we can get the interviews done within a week, we can have a decision within a week. We're pretty straightforward on that.
Somebody really wants to work for your campground. Is there something they can do to stand out among the other applicants?
Send us an introductory email with all your information from the get-go. An email that says, I'm interested, with your name and no phone number doesn't help us very much.
I suppose.
So that's why and that's actually why I'll say I've noticed in general that the applicants and the people that we hire from workamper.com specifically tend to be higher quality, just generally speaking. And I think that says a lot about your website and how you prepare work campers to get their resumes together. You tell them what their expectations are. You run this podcast that helps people understand what everyone needs. And it is pretty straightforward. And I would say the photos are amazing. Show us a photo of your rig, your cars. It just communicates so much so quickly and allows us to move to the next step a lot quicker.
What can people do when they're not working for you?
This is actually a fun perk about this park. You can go on the river anytime you want. So one of the perks we offer, the amenities that we offer all our staff is that, hey, if nothing's being rented and you're not working, then absolutely go ahead, take out a canoe, take out a kayak, take out an inner tube and go float down the river yourself and enjoy it. Unlimited. We also, all of our cabins have hot tubs and we maintain the hot tubs every day. But if a cabin's not being rented, which is typically midweek, this is a classic campground in that we're busy on the weekends and we're empty during the week. We allow all our staff to utilize the hot tubs as much as possible so that they can enjoy that.
That is a nice perk. Absolutely.
They can also go on the various hikes around the West Virginia area in Lewisburg, Alderson. There's some amazing hiking trails. There's other rivers around there you can explore as well. It's just, the park is, from my church camp days, I loved being in the woods. I loved being in the mountains. And this location is just phenomenal. And a lot of the people are really surprised because, but let me put it this way, because we have a park in Georgia where the electric bill come in the summer months is huge because people are running their ACs pretty much 24/7 because it'll be 90 degrees plus during the evenings. Whereas in this park, it might get up to 80, low 90s during the day. So it's hot, but in the evenings, it cools down right away. So they're out on the river all day, not running their ACs. And then they get home in the night and they actually open their windows and they just enjoy the cool mountain weather. So that's the huge perk of living in the mountains.
As someone who lives in Phoenix, I would say 80 and 90 degrees sounds like a balmy day.
Exactly. For Phoenix, you think, wow, I'll actually go outside. When it gets up to 114, you're thinking twice in Phoenix.
That's right. Do you folks rent kayaks and boats and things like that?
Absolutely. We rent all the equipment. We provide the life vest. We provide those coolers and we drive you, drop you off, pick you up. Pretty much all the equipment is provided. We do mandate that everyone has water shoes on. But of course, if you don't have water shoes, surprise, our store will sell you some water shoes.
What's one thing you wish all work campers knew before they came to work for you?
That's a great question. I wish they understood that it's lifestyle first. We're looking for an enjoyable work environment. We're not looking for the grind. You're outside We want you to enjoy outside, spend time with friends and family. We enjoy working hard, but we don't want anyone to be overworking. We want everyone to be happy. And the best part about this campground is the fact that everyone who comes there is on vacation and they want to be there and they're there for fun. And pretty much the location is the primary draw of the campground. It's just so beautiful. But yeah, so there's Workampers. It's a lifestyle choice. It's not a job where you're trying to grind it out. It's an incredible combination of live-work balance.
I like work camping because you're helping other people to have fun. So it's got to be fun, right?
Exactly. Fun. That's the name of the game, especially at a family campground along a river.
Is the river big enough to accommodate a motorboat? So if an RVer has towing a boat, would they be able to use that on that river?
It's not really that kind of river. I do see a lot of serious, I forgot to mention the fishing. There's definitely the fishing season. People love to fish on the river. What I typically see is kayaks that have a little electric motors.
Okay.
They might do that. But for the most part, because the river is flowing, you don't really need a motor because you put in and then you just slowly drift down. And if you need to, you can go along the shore, go inside a little eddy where you're not going to drift down anymore, do some fishing, and then you just paddle out and drift down some more to the drop-off point.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, sorry, to the pickup point at that.
Okay. Since you're in a rather remote area, how far are you from the nearest Walmart? That's when people really gauge whether something is remote.
That's a good point. A super Walmart center is right there in Lewisburg, and it is a 15 to 20 minute drive.
Okay. So very close to get all the other amenities.
That's one of the reasons we chose this park. It is remote in the sense that you're in the West Virginia mountains, which are gorgeous, but you still have all the services you need with Lewisburg being so close.
Okay. You had mentioned you owned other parks. Are you also hiring work campers for them?
We are. Now, the other parks are year round, and so it's not a seasonal basis, but yeah, at the moment, we're staffed up and we're doing great. But yes, periodically we put out advertisements on workamper.com saying we have an opening. But I'll tell you from our experience, we tend to keep our staff for long periods of time. And that has to do with our work environment. And as we start at $15 an hour.
That's great. Where can people get more information about this?
Each one of our parks is independent, so we run them independently. So right now, the focus is the 2025 season for greenbrierrivercampground.com.
Okay.
You just go to the website, greenbrierrivercampground.com, and contact us, and then we'll reach out to you.
There's an opportunity there to submit an application or get an email address.
On the website, you can find our contact information to get in contact with the park, and then from there we can talk about the positions that are available. But otherwise, we just advertise on workamper.com.
Super. Thank you very much for this information. It sounds like it'd be a fun way to spend the summer in a rather relaxing, lazy river kind of environment.
You got that right on the nose.
I interviewed Kevin St. Laurent, the owner of Greenbrier River Campground, a few weeks before Hurricane Helene came through the area. However, I've been told there was relatively minor damage to the campground and that it is open for business now, and Kevin expects another busy year in 2025. Work campers need to put in 12 to 15 hours a week in exchange for a full hookup RV site. Every hour beyond that is paid at a rate of $15 per hour. Some flexibility will be required. When the water level is high on the river, more people show up to rent water equipment and the campground is busier. As a result, work campers will need to put in more hours in those situations. But none of the work camper jobs is considered to be full-time. Solos are encouraged to apply, and the campground is pet-friendly too. Families are also encouraged to apply, but the company can't hire teenagers to help. Kevin is especially looking for people who are independent-minded and don't need constant supervision. He really likes people who take initiative to do what needs to be done. Having prior maintenance experience is a plus, and everyone needs to take a basic first aid class due to all the water activity at the campground. The manager and work campers doing maintenance also get paid to take a one-day water treatment course to learn how to use the campgrounds well. When they aren't working, Workampers can use the campground's equipment to go on the river whenever they'd like. Kevin said there are a lot of hiking trails and fishing spots near the campground. The closest Walmart is about 20 minutes away, but the campground is located in a rather secluded area of West Virginia, several hours away from really big cities. To apply for the jobs, people need to send an email to Kevin along with a photo of themselves and their rig. Then he schedules a video interview if possible, and hiring decisions are made quickly. More information and the email address are available by visiting www.greenbrierrivercampground.com. People interested in the management position are encouraged to contact Kevin right away. Today's episode is brought to you by the featured employers at Workamper.com. These Workamper employers have taken the extra step to share some photos and detailed information about their Workamper programs with you. Opportunities exist for couples, solos, and families, whether they're full-time, part-time, seasonal, or even long-term jobs. Some are income opportunities and others involve volunteering at locations throughout the United States. Go to workamper.com/FE to meet the featured employers today. If you are an employer seeking to hire Workampers, then you can learn about the benefits from year-round recruiting by becoming a featured employer. Visit www.workamper.com/FE details. That's all I have for this week's show. Next week, we'll be celebrating our 300th episode of The Workamper Show, so Jody and Luke Duquette, the owners of Workamper.com, have something special planned. Be sure to tune in for that milestone episode. If you like the show, please consider leaving a review wherever you download the episodes. Thank you for listening.